My name is Mahmoud Ahmed. I have the privilege of serving as the Assistant National Director of Public Affairs for the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in the United States. And it's my honor and privilege here today to be here for, I think, what is a historic occasion, which is the first day on the Hill of the Boys Division of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association. And as we are speaking here right now, there are more than 130 young boys between the ages of 7 and 15 from all over the country, from Texas to California to Maryland, I'm sure, who are meeting with congressional offices around the Hill here in Washington, D.C. And they're here for one simple purpose, which is H.R. 2902, the Safe Schools Improvement Act of 2015. They have come not for themselves, but for the victims of bullying. This is an issue that many of them have personal experience with, and they are sharing that personal experience and their advocacy on behalf of the victims of bullying with congressional offices. The Boys Division of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, which includes boys between the ages of 7 and 15, is the sponsor of this event. This organization, which exists now in many, many chapters across the United States and also around the world, helps to train the youth of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in moral and spiritual matters. They're committed to instilling the value of service at an early age. These children are also involved in the Muslim Youth Against Hunger campaign, which provides food and food pantries to food pantries and many other activities for service. H.R. 292, which again is the reason they're here today, will help establish policies to prevent bullying in schools. It will make schools accountable in establishing these policies and reporting on their effectiveness. So this morning, I will also have the privilege of introducing you to some people who have been very, very involved in this. And first, we're very honored to, and I think this is the second or third time this year that I've had the privilege of introducing Congressman Mike Honda from California. I understand that he is the chair of the anti-bullying caucus here in Congress, and very, very proud to have him here. One note I should share before Congressman Honda takes the stage is I understand the boys here are in very good company, or I should say the WWE wrestlers with whom you are apparently also working are in very, very good company on this issue. So with that said, Congressman Honda, please share some remarks with us.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Capitol. I didn't know there was going to be so many of you. 146? That's pretty cool. You're going to be well noticed because of the colors you're wearing today. And thank you, Mahmoud. I want to thank the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, all of you here, and those who are not here for being here today. My name is Mike Honda, and I represent Silicon Valley, California District 17. And I have long supported the Muslim community especially after September 11th. I voted against the what is now law of the Patriot Act, and I stood up for those who were unfairly targeted or profiled. And what you need to learn is that a lot of people in the Capitol, when we make laws, we always try to put some nice names to it, like the Patriot Act, as if you voted for it, you'd be a patriot. But the lesson is to read everything and understand what's in it and get past the title. Okay, and so when racism and ignorance led to outrage over the building of a Muslim community center in a mosque near Lower Manhattan, I went on hardball to defend the community's right to construct the building. I spoke out against Republican Congressman Peter King when he organized the congressional hearings against Muslim Americans. Even here in Washington, D.C., I called for a boycott of the metro system when it ran anti-Muslim advertisements. You know, in the buses, they always have advertisements above the window inside the buses, and they have some other advertising in the bus stations, and I thought that was un-American and uncalled for. So as a ranking member on an appropriations committee, I pushed the director of the FBI and the Attorney General to investigate racial profiling against Muslim Americans by the New York Police Department. As a founder and chairman of the Congressional Caucus to End Bullying, I applaud your dedication and efforts in raising awareness and working to end bullying. It's no easy job. We know that bullying exists across this country, and we know that this can be disproportionately affect those of Muslim faith. And we know it's a problem. But what we lack is appropriate solutions to addressing bullying. That's why your presence here today is so important. You're raising a profile on an important issue. You're putting your face to an issue, and you're taking your face and issue to the face of people here who make decisions. So you're raising the profile of an important issue for all people who are bullied for simply being who they are. Bullying is not a foreign experience to me. Both as an individual and my role as an educator, I have experienced and witnessed bullying in many forms. When I was a kid, actually an infant, my parents and I were in internment camps in Colorado back in 1942. And growing up, I was called names for being who I was, an American of Japanese descent. In those days, when you just looked at my face, and you remember World War II and all the movies about the Japanese soldiers and everything, they used to say that you're a Jap. And those are very unpleasant words that one hears when they're growing up. So as a result, I refuse to be a bystander while millions of people are dealing with the effects of bullying on a daily basis, such as young folks like yourself. And I believe that we can end bullying by creating a culture that supports upstanders, not bystanders, but upstanders. A name for those who stand up against bullying and bullies and just say, this is not right, this has to stop. And that's why we have to create a more positive way to talk about bullying. So next week I'll be calling upon the inclusion of the word upstander to our dictionaries. How about that? Ahmadiyya origin. And it's time that we recognize the value of positive language and its ability to change behavior. I also plan to introduce a House resolution marking October as Bullying Prevention Month. And with my colleagues in the Congressional Caucus to End Bullying, I remain dedicated to addressing bullying in every facet: schools, workplace, playgrounds, homes, and other places wherever there is a person. For everyone, students, employees, the elderly, the disabled, and it doesn't matter what your gender is and what your preference is, what your religion is. We have to fight for legislation that will improve the lives of people across our country. And right now we are trying to pass an important bill that will help end bullying around the country. It was mentioned by Mahmoud, the Safe Schools Improvement Act. As you know, the Safe Schools Improvement Act would require school districts, your schools in states that receive ESEA funds. That means the Elementary Secondary Education Act. That's the federal monies that go to a lot of schools in this country. If they receive these funds, they have to adopt codes of conduct specifically prohibiting bullying and harassment, including on the basis of color, race, national origin, sex, gender, disability, orientation, gender identity, and religion. It would also require that states report data on bullying and harassment to the Department of Education. So if they don't collect information, people won't know that things are going on. So if things happen, we report it, and then the state has to collect that information. And as a nation, we'll get all this information and say, you see, it's still going on, and we have to do something about it. The department would then be required to provide Congress with a report on the state reported data every 2 years. So every 2 years, they have to report to Congress what's going on state by state. This bill will serve as a foundation for schools to further protect students and make schools a safe place for everyone. So you'll be participating in making sure that we collect information school by school, community by community, so it becomes part of the national information system so that we could come up with some solutions. Without your help, this won't work. So legislation alone will not eliminate bullying. So we need to work together to effectively change the attitude of our nation. And we need you and all of you, each one of you. You have a voice and you're making it heard. So you have to speak up, share your story, and educate your community about your diversities, about your background, who you are, what you believe in. And that should not become the reason why people target you for bullying. So there's a long road ahead of us, but each of us, if we contribute and engage each other, and we can make a world of difference by ending bullying worldwide. And so the first step of a long journey is taking that first step and knowing why you are taking that first step in the direction that you're going. So we just want to make sure that you understand that you have the power also, individually and collectively. So that's why the Ahmadiyya Muslim youth organization like yourselves is really important. How old are you? How old are you? About 10, 11, 8? Okay, so you're 8. I'm 74. That means you got 66 years more to do this and get it done in your lifetime. So I just want to thank you for dedicating your time and being here and sharing your talent and promoting positive solutions, as our faith requires us to do, right? Our faith requires us to do the right thing, the positive thing, in a humane way, so that universally all people will be treated appropriately. So I'm glad to see many of you who will be personally sharing your own stories. And it's your own personal stories that's powerful, because no one can say it didn't happen, right? If it happened to you, then you know that you're the expert of your own experience, and you share that. So I look forward to seeing the results of your good work, and just want to say thank you for having me as part of your effort, and count on me as your ally to end this thing called bullying. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Congressman. I understand you commemorated the 70th anniversary of the closing of the camp that you were interned in last week, and I think it's remarkable that we've come this far, and yet we have so much work to do. And I think that you appropriately, I think that folks like these kids and myself and others will attempt to follow in your footsteps and to take on this fight. So with that said, I know you emphasize the importance of personal stories, and I think we have some personal stories that people will be sharing. And for the benefit of the audience here, I understand there's a young boy here, Soban Iqbal from Houston. He's 11 years old, and I will now ask him to come to the stage and share some stories with us.
Hello.